AEW is screwing over Toni Storm, and I've had enough. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what they're doing and how they can fix it. Because unlike a lot of people out there, I'm not here to crap on AEW, although I'm about to, but I do it out of the good of my heart. I do it as someone who wants to see this promotion succeed, and I want to see Toni Storm succeed because it's no secret that Toni Storm has undergone a little bit of a change in recent times, right? She, coming over from WWE to AEW, you knew she was going to do big things. You knew she was going to have a good career. You knew she was going to make an impact on the women's division. She was just booked that so strongly, right? And she was starting to pick up a little bit of steam in WWE on the main roster before she opted just to leave. She's like, I'm just not doing this anymore. And I think if you look at it like that, then there was an expectation for Toni Storm in AEW, right? You knew she was going to make some type of an impact. You knew she was going to be really good for the division, and she had a ton of upside in AEW, but then she opted very smartly to pivot. She pivoted to a different character, a different persona, a different gimmick. She also went heel, unlike her previous fan favorite persona known in WWE as well as AEW, a throwback, a timeless, if you will, type character, type gimmick, and it worked, and it really got over with the fan base. And she was cutting these old school 1920s type promos, black and white. Her entrance was black and white, right? She had old school attire. It was really cool, and it was really different, especially for an AEW fan base, right? It was more character driven than in ring. Like, her matches were not very good, but her promos were exceptional, and you could not wait to see what she was going to do next and what she was going to say next. And then she started getting paired with Mariah May, a notable talent signing for AEW, who obviously has paid off huge for Tony Khan and earning her money well. And it's been very good for them. And so, they do the turn. Mariah May turns on Toni Storm. She beats her with the bloody shoe. And they eventually do the match at All In. And Mariah May goes over, and Toni Storm, she takes some time off afterwards. And then she comes out and announces that she is retiring from wrestling, which no one bought. But you knew they were going with something. And then she returns to AEW, but she does so under her old gimmick, right? The punk rock type outcast gimmick. And everyone's like, what? And then she starts doing this dementia storyline where she has dementia. Now, Mick Foley famously did this in WCW. It was horrible then. And as we see, it's not very good now. And that leads us to today's video, because AEW, whether it was a Toni Storm idea, whether it was a Tony Khan idea, either way, they're screwing over Toni Storm. This storyline, despite their plans, despite their booking, despite their good intentions, despite her performance, which is very good, she's doing an excellent job in this role, it's still not very good because the storyline isn't very good. You can have great performances, you can have the greatest intentions, but the storyline as a whole, at the core of it, if it's not very good, then it sucks. And no one likes it, and no one buys it because it sucks, and it doesn't make sense. And that's exactly what's going on right now. That's exactly what is going on right now. Can we just get to the point? Like, we understand that she had to come back after taking time off, and we knew that she wasn't going to go right after Mariah May, although you could make the argument that she should have. I understand that they're trying to play the long game here with Toni Storm. I understand that they're eventually building to her and Mariah May. I get all of that. But can we all recognize, can we all admit, can we all come out and say, can we just get to the freaking point already with this storyline? Can we just get to Toni Storm not pretending, well, I've never made a pay-per-view debut. Oh, let's do that. Or I've never wrestled on Dynamite. Or I've never wrestled on Collision. Can we just get past that? Can we just get back to what made this one of the best gimmicks in wrestling over the last 2 years? Can we just get back to timeless Toni Storm? How hard was it for Toni Storm to make her return? How hard was it for her to just come back and cut a promo and saying, look, I lost to Mariah May. She was the better person, but I've spent the last however long it's been, 2-3 months. I've been sitting, I've been waiting, I've been pondering, I've been thinking, I've been looking, I've been searching. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? And I found out where I went wrong. I trusted her. She turned on me. She stabbed me in the back, but that won't happen again. I will not put my guard down. I will go after Mariah May. I will go back and go after my World Women's Championship. I will become Women's Champion once again. That's what they have to do. That's what they should have done. That's what they need to do. You don't have to book the Mariah May match right away. You can have Toni Storm come out there. You can have her acknowledge, hey, I got beat. She was a better woman that night. But by God, I am more driven. I am more focused. I am more hungry than ever. And you can cut this fiery babyface promo, right? And then you can get to the match. And if you don't want to do the match right away, that's fine. You want to save it for a double or nothing in May, or an all in Texas in July, or an all out in August. You want to save it, right? We got months down the road. I get all that. Here's the thing. You could simply say, okay, she wants the match, and she could go in two ways. One, she could say, I have to prove to myself once again that I am a top-tier star, so I'm going to go and I'm going to win a lot of matches, and I'm going to earn my way back, like this epic babyface promo. Or you could go and you could have Mariah May say, I'm not going to give you this title match. I don't need to. I beat you once. And you just play up that heel, right? Almost like, think of the Undertaker-Kane storyline in 1997 into 1998, where, like, no matter what Kane did, no matter who he hurt, no matter how many times he screwed over the Undertaker, Taker would not wrestle his brother. He refused, right? For months, that was the storyline. Kane would do something, and Taker would say, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to fight him. I was like, yeah, dude, Mariah May. And it gets her more heel heat, and it gets her more over as a heel, and it gets her more over as a top-tier star, and it gives more sympathy to Toni Storm, and it makes people more upset with Mariah May, and it makes people believe in Toni Storm even more, and they want desperately to see her. They desperately want to see her get over as a top-tier star in a main event type role, right? Like, that's all they have to do. And so, if you're just trying to get to a freaking rematch between Toni Storm and Mariah May, newsflash, we ain't got to do this wonky storyline, right? Like, we can get there on our own. And if you do it like that, then it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Oh, well, that works out, right? Like, why? Why do we have to do this silliness? Why do we have to do this unnecessary BS, right, with Toni Storm and downgrade a top-tier talent who is a dominant women's champion, who was one of our top-tier stars for so long, who still is one of our top-tier stars? You don't have to do that. It's unnecessary, right? Get us back to where we need to be. Get us back to Mariah May versus Toni Storm. Get us back to Toni Storm as our women's champion. That's all I'm saying. Or at least get her just back to timeless Toni Storm. That's all you got to do.